How will I know that change has arrived in Haiti? That the country is making a real move towards progress and development? See, I can boil it down to one factor that I'm going to continue to watch to see if it is what happens. Now, this is number 2 in a series that I'm doing 10 and 10. Basically, the idea is a decade ago I launched Defend Haiti on Facebook on October 30th, 2009. And back then, I spoke about Haitian politicians being on Twitter, being on social media, the need for more content, more news, more information to be on the web, and all that has happened in a big way. Like we have a very large ecosystem online for Haitian news and information. It's unlike any other nation that I have seen. So what I'm thinking is for the next 10 days up until the 10-year anniversary of the Defend Haiti Facebook page, I'm going to tell you guys 10 things I would like to see happen with Haiti in the next 10 years. And maybe it'll get done. Maybe half of them will get done, but either way, it'll be improvement. So that's what I'm doing. Part one was on education, but what I'm talking about today should have been part one. But I'm allowing current events to dictate what I discuss. So this one is about how I'll know that Haiti is on the right path, because right now there's a movement for to get the president to resign, and they're going to redo the Constitution. They're going to refound the nation. And I'm all in support of that. That'll be great. I mean, I don't agree with the parliamentary system. I think it's a joke. I think it only works with, a country like England where the head of state or the queen is, is the one, and then you got the prime minister who has the most power, because that's the situation we have in Haiti. The people elect a president who essentially doesn't have anywhere close to as much power as the prime minister, who is not elected by the people but elected by the parliamentarians. So they might change that. That'll be great, but that won't let me know that Haiti's moving in the right direction. Maybe they'll let the Haitian diaspora be more involved, but the Haitian diaspora already have all their rights. In 2011, there was a constitutional amendment. It allowed for dual citizenship. If you are a Haitian diaspora, unless you were born in another country, but you can do everything, anything you want in the country. You can vote. You can run for office, except for, I believe, the office of president. You would have to be born in the country. But for either position, you shouldn't have dual nationality at the time you run for the seat. So if you have dual nationality, by the time it's time for elections, you should have dropped that. By the time the electoral cycle begins, I should say, you would have to drop your other nationality. So the involvement of the diaspora is not really the way I'm gonna know. And then to corruption, yeah, that kind of has something to do with it. And this actually solves the corruption issue, but you can't just wish it away. You can't just say, okay, we're gonna wish it away. Part of the reason I do think it would be good for the president to resign is because of the crimes he's involved in. Not for, I mean, just off that. He's compromised. The crimes he's involved in of money laundering. He is vulnerable to blackmail from other world leaders, from other nations. So and it's bad for our country to have someone who's so highly corrupt and involved in crimes leading the country. That cannot happen. So just off that alone, I believe he should have resigned as soon as the accusations came through. It became known, uh, you know. So what's the one way I will know that Haiti is on the right path to development? The answer to that is if the country becomes federalized. And to help you understand what I mean by federalized, I'll let you take a look. Let's look at a map of Haiti. Here we go. Haiti consists of 10 departments. Okay, we got Northwest, Northeast. That's where I'm from. The Atibonite, Sant, West, Sud-Est, Nips, Gondans, and South, Sud-West. Okay, Southwest. Right? No. What was it called? Yeah, that's what. Whatever. Anyways, so you got 10 departments, right? And one of the reasons now I've seen very good people that I hold in high esteem, get into politics, get into the parliament, and then all of a sudden, I hear they're caught up in corruption. And one of the biggest reasons how these guys get caught up in corruption is that we're having legislators, we're having lawmakers handle money, which is not supposed to happen. We're having people that are supposed to be making laws also executing projects, which shouldn't happen. For example, like you'll hear a deputy talk about, hey, how he's asking the government for such and such money so he can build a road in his commune. Like, what do you mean? That's not your function. That's not. See, when they talk about, oh, Haitians been doing democracy for 30 years and it hasn't worked for them. No, we haven't done democracy. That's a joke. That's a lie. We've done without dictator, but we haven't done democracy in Haiti. And to say we've done without dictator is that's up to opinion. That's arguable. We haven't done democracy when you have lawmakers doing executive work. And in some regards, when obviously we have executives doing legislative work when they don't organize elections and then they start ruling by decree. What we have with Jovenel now, right? In fact, one of the reasons they were going to impeach him was because he just decreed prime minister and government into power. Jean-Michel Lapin never went through the parliament. Never. He's just there. Him, Edmond Bouchit, the minister of foreign affairs, the entire government at this point is just illegal. But back to the issue with the parliamentarians, this is something that's actually happening every single time that these lawmakers come into office and then they start talking about handling money. And they use that as a way to sell their votes because now when the president wants to ratify a prime minister, the lawmakers want to know how much are you going to allocate to me to use in my community, in my department, or in my commune, depending on whether they're a senator or a deputy. And then you have an issue of negotiations happening. And then you have an issue of because now the lawmaker is concerned because if they don't show that there's some development going on in their area, in their constituency, if they don't show that there's something happening, they're not going to get reelected. That's how they see it, although elections don't really depend on the people in Haiti, but they realize they could really get run out. If they can't show something, even for these fete champettes or whatever they call them, that happen in every commune has them annually, where they have a party to celebrate the patron saint of their city or town. They give The state is giving lawmakers money to organize these events. And really it's just a big money laundering operation. Truth be told, all the drug dealers, all the kidnappers, that's how they launder their money with the annual fetes, the parties, the festivals. That the communes have. So we have this big problem, and it kind of ties both of their hands. The lawmaker needs to show something happening in his town, and but the government needs to get their votes, and it's a huge big problem because that's not the way a democracy is supposed to work. The solution to this is something that in its essence would let me know there is going to be big change in Haiti in its very essence. The solution to that is to federalize Haiti. And when I see they federalize Haiti, that's when I know Haiti's moving in the right direction. They can I don't mind. The president needs to go. There needs to be prosecutions for what happened with Petrocarib. All that are going to be pluses because people are going to be less likely to get into corruption, to embezzle. All those are pluses. The impeachment hearing we had this year, first time in history, great. All of those are moving us in the right directions, incrementally in the right direction. But we will not make a real move, a real sustainable move in the right direction until we federalize the Haitian state. And what does that mean, to federalize the Haitian state? That means you see each of these departments, each of them have their capitals. Atibonite has Gonaïve, Saint, Inch, Gondon, Jérémy. The North Department has Cap Haïtien. Nord-Est has my town, my city, Fort Liberté. They have capitals. But right now, they don't have governors in the sense of what we have here in the United States. We have governors over our states, like the state of Florida has a governor, the state of New York has a governor. They don't have that. They have these things called departmental delegate, which are picked by the president, picked and let go by the president to where they delegate stuff that needs to happen in the department. That's a joke. What needs to happen in Haiti is that each of these departments have elections for their own governors, for who's going to govern those departments. Federalizing Haiti means that each of these departments become their own states to manage their own affairs, not some of their affairs. There still has to be a federal government, a national government, but each department needs to have its own government because they're so different. Like here in the Sun, number 2 here, they're more known for farming. But if you go down here where you got Oka, you got Jacmel, they're more known for tourism. And in the city of the West Department, Port-au-Prince, there's more textiles and factory work and transportation and other types of services that go on here. Each department has its own certain identity, but you having a small group in Port-au-Prince decide what's great for them. That's not going to work. And it's not just to have them elect the governors. They need to have the power to have their own laws. It shouldn't conflict with national law, just as in the U.S. we have state laws, but the state laws don't conflict with federal law. But they should have their own laws. They should be able to collect taxes. Because the taxes that can be collected in Port-au-Prince is going to be a lot different than the taxes that could be collected in the Northwest, and for different needs and for different purposes. for purposes that they decide how they're going to use their taxes, how they decide how they're going to build their roads, how they decide they're going to attract investment, not foreign investment, but investment from within the country into their department. Because I'm against foreign investment. I think it's actually very detrimental to the country. Uh, until we get to a place where we have control of our economy, foreign direct investment is just, we're just handing it over. But yeah, yeah. So they like for example, it makes me laugh because I see videos like there was a video last week because it rained in the city. It rained. You had people having to climb over like feet of water. People they're clinging on to like a wall. They're clinging onto a fence. There's trash floating through the water. It looks really bad, nasty, nasty, nasty. And I see in the comments people talking about, oh, the president ain't doing nothing. They talking about the president. That's not the president's job. That's the job of the municipality of the mayor. But the mayorships in Haiti don't collect taxes. They don't have that right. I mean, they may. If they do, they don't have it explicitly, but I haven't seen it. They don't collect taxes. They don't they don't even the money to build the roads, it comes from the federal government. So we have a whole so what it essentially comes down to is because every year they talk about decentralization. Jovenel Moise, he was thought decentralization was going to be this caravan of changement, where he would take all these trucks out to different cities and communes in the provinces, and that's what they thought. That's what they think decentralization is. Martelli, he thought decentralization was having Carnival in Okap, Carnival in Okai. That's what Martelli, Carnival in Jacmel. Well, they already have theirs. That's what they think decentralization. No, decentralization means decentralizing power, giving power up. And that's why I keep telling people the Duvalier dictatorship did a real number on us because the idea of even sharing power is foreign. It's like it's the reason why we always have problems even today is because every president thinks they're going to come into power and become president for life. So they don't organize elections. So they don't share the power. They don't share the responsibility. They don't delegate in a real way. But that's what federalizing, if a leader were to come, if we were actually to have a constitutional council to refound the nation, if they don't talk about federalizing the Haitian state, to me they not doing anything. I mean, they doing something. It'll probably be a plus. It'll probably be good for like maybe a few years to a decade, but it will not be real sustainable change that Haitians can believe in. Federalization is the only way. And it's why, with part one of this series 10 and 10, I was talking about education, but that's what I meant by, with when you start to federalize the state, then you can have school districts. You don't have just one group in Port-au-Prince trying to manage an entire national school district, which they can't. They're failing to do so. 14 million people is not a small amount of people. 11 to 14 million population. That's not a small amount. So and you can't. And this group in Port-au-Prince thinks they're gonna manage schools all over the nation. It's ridiculous. There should be districts. Departments need to have more power. That's what I'm talking about here. It's not an issue of, oh, we have too many senators, we have too many deputies, man. Look, in fact, when we, because I'm hoping in 10 years they would have done this. When these departments are actually federalized, I think they even within them they should have their own legislatures. We have a state legislature here in Florida that makes laws for Florida, and that's how they would be able to make laws for themselves. The national the parliament will then work for laws for the entire country. Will then work for more wider a greater scope. Will have a greater scope of responsibility than looking at things departmentally. They can't be mired in that. Our senators cannot be mired in what goes on in their own departments and be fighting out to get whatever types of advantage for their department. It's not a good system. There's a lot of there's a lot of advantages to federalizing. We're too big of a nation to not do so. It's too diverse of a population by department to not do so. And everything has been centralized, and it's what came out of the Duvalier dictatorship. Because when Duvalier came into power, everybody started migrating from the provinces to the city. They destroyed agriculture for foreign imports. They constructed factories in the city, sweatshops. I know because my family moved from Fort Liberté in the Nordest to the city because of a Coca-Cola factory. My aunt, she got an executive position working for Coca-Cola, and the whole family came to Port-au-Prince. Well, thank God we still have land. We still had some people that stayed, but for other groups, they left a lot of land. Land probably got taken to move into the city. And under that dictatorship, there was a centralized power, and we're still reeling from it. And we haven't even, and to the most part, unfortunately, we haven't really seen that this is a problem. We haven't really seen that our concentratedness in Port-au-Prince is. I mean, to some degree, we have. You hear people talk about decentralization, but they don't understand that real decentralization means a decentralization of power. They don't understand that. Everybody still wants to be president for life. So that's number two. Um, Number one was on education, the type of changes I wanted to see, just a little, just to take y'all back. And basically, I wanted to see an educational system decentralized in power with districts, and I wanted to see big investment in online education, a public school system that is like at least 50% online with Haitian diaspora around the world teaching classes. That way it'll solve the problems. Because right now there's a lot of schools with teachers that didn't get an education themselves. You know what I'm saying? So we can have more teachers, and with this online education public school system, teachers all around the world of so many different expertise, and it'll be, just listen to that video. And this is now number two, federalization. I would like to see that in the next decade in Haiti. So we got 8 more to go. I'll probably drop number 3 tomorrow or maybe tonight. I don't know. But this is number 2. Yeah, if you don't see any type of real laws, real statutes being put down to make these departments more autonomous, to make each commune more autonomous, and then no, we're not looking at sustainable change. We may see some improvement because now we're showing that we address acts of corruption, which is great. But we definitely will not be looking at major change, major transformative change in Haiti without that. So that's it, man. I really love you guys, man. Love my people. And that's it. Bye.